Hey, how's it going, everyone? Today is Wednesday, January 26th, 2022. And our topic is Rikers Island today. Have I ever been to Rikers Island? The answer is yes. I was saving this for my friend D3, writes D3 Sammy, because he actually has a Rikers Island page, like YouTube type podcast thing. And he was actually with me when I got arrested to go to Rikers Island. So originally I was going to drop it on his thing, D3 TV. But he hasn't been posting stuff on his YouTube. He's not taking it seriously. So I figured I'd tell it here since so many people keep asking me. Now I could start from the very, very beginning, or I could just buzz through it. Now, originally, throughout my years as a child, I've been to Spofford, I've been all upstate, Westchester, and all these juvenile centers and group homes, and they label them all different things. It's all pretty much the same shit. When you're a bad little kid, they send you up there to those places. So, those places were harsh, man. Not necessarily the group homes. Some of them were pretty cush-cush, and actually fun and enjoyable. Spofford was horrible, especially for me, a white man, or a white child at that point. I was like, what, 14, 15 years old, 100 and something pounds. Horrible, horrible. Just get my ass kicked almost every day. Until I found a little piece of a fence. It was sitting there near the showers. I grabbed that shit. After that, I was good. Yeah. Anyway, I figured Rikers Island would be 1,000 times worse. So, with that thought in mind, I didn't even know I was going to Rikers Island when I went to Rikers Island. But, yeah, I'll break it down from the beginning. It sounds like I'm getting confusing. But pretty much, it was me, D3, D3 Sammy, and Led Zepp, Chris. We were on 59th Street between 1st and York Avenue. We're walking by. We're actually breaking into cars. It was pretty lucrative back in the days. We'd steal fur coats, leather coats, car radios. Hell, I remember one of my friends, KK I believe it was, actually stole the whole baseball collection. Like a baseball card collection up near the Columbus Coliseum back in the days. It's no longer even in existence. That Coliseum's not even there no more. They turned it into a mall. But yeah, he actually took he got a whole baseball card collection. Like people, it was actually a baseball card collectors convention when these guys got there. So you get all types of crazy shit out of cards. Anyway, this one particular time we're on 59th Street between 1st and York Avenue. And I'm looking, I noticed a fireman's helmet, like a big thick helmet with a plaque on top of it and everything, in a car. It's on the dashboard. So I said, yo, I want that shit. That should look dope on my shelf in my room in my apartment. I was probably 19 years old or 20 years old at this time. It's like 1987, maybe 1988, when this crime took place and when I went to Rikers Island. So 1987, 1988. I was either 19 years old or 20 years old. So I was born July 14th, 1968. It's my birthday. So anyway, I'm like, yo, I want that helmet. Both D3 and Led Zepp. Like, come on, what the fuck are you going to do with that shit? I said, yo, I want that shit. Give me the center punch. Now, a center punch is a tool that carpenters use for when they put a nail into a piece of wood. The nail head will only go as far as the wood. If you keep hitting it with the hammer, you're going to damage the wood. You're going to leave imprints from the hammer head, unless you use a mallet, a wood mallet. Anyway, what this center punch does is, when you're making furniture, let's say we're making a piece of furniture, a chair, we're hammering the nail. Now, you can see the nail with your human eye. So what this center punch does is, it looks, well, this is a nib that I draw with, but it's like a metal thing like this with a nail. It comes up this, and it's got a spring in it, down here. Almost the same mechanism It's like a stiletto, you know, when it comes straight out. Anyway, what happens is you push the pin down and you go up to the wood. You go poof, like that, and it pushes the head of the nail into the wood. So now you take a little wood putty, you go over that, it'll be like a little circular hole, and you can see the nail head. You put a little putty there and stainer. You can never even tell there was a nail there. That's the purpose of a center punch. But now, if you take the center punch and you go like this with it, where am I? It's hard to find. Right here. You just go like this to the glass. It goes, and it shatters it. And you can actually poke a little hole in it, get the doorknob, and go. You can walk up to a store, the whole window will do that too. So that's what we would use, a center punch. I'll see if I can find one online, a picture of it, and I'll put it after the video. Anyway, I'm like, oh, give me a center punch, man. I want that shit. Yeah, come on, Rob, man. It's fucking bullshit, man. You gonna carry that shit around? They know I drop it off. I live a couple blocks from here or whatever. So, everyone takes positions. D3 checks the avenue. Led Zepp's watching the side street. Boof the window. Get the helmet. Actually put the fucking thing on. I'm starting to walk with it. We're walking now on 59th Street still, but from 1st to 2nd Avenue. We get to about where the Humane Society is. It's a place where you could adopt a dog or a cat. And a bunch of cop cars pull up and grab us. I actually have the helmet on my head. It winds up that the fireman saw the whole thing go down from a window. And, I mean, he wasn't on a call. He wasn't putting out a fire or nothing. And it's, yes, it's a very stupid crime. 19, 20 years old, poor fireman. God knows those helmets are pretty sentimental, you know? So, he actually saw what happened, called the police, came out the building, and followed behind us. The cops came, he said, yeah, there they are, this, that. He hopped out everywhere. They arrested me, D3, and Led Zepp. We go to the 19th precinct. In the 19th precinct, I was telling the cops, I said, look, man, these guys have nothing to do with it, man. Like, you know, D3 and Led Zepp, I'm like, they honestly did everything in their power to stop me from committing this crime. Cut short of actually physically assaulting me to stop this crime. So they have nothing to do with it. It's not their fault. Yeah, I felt bad. Like we're sitting in the cell there where they fingerprint you. Like I said, this is back in 1988. And, you know, they fingerprint you everything. D3 and Sammy are mad at me. They're like, yo, come on, man. You know, Sammy and Chris, which is D3 and Led Zepp. They're like, fucking idiot, man, with your fucking helmet, man. Fuck this up, man, you know. So I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, man. So anyway, we go down to the Tombs. 100 Center Street. We go before the judge. Now, at this point, it's different for me. Because normally I don't go to 100 Center Street. I go to 80 Lafayette. I'm a child. Hey. You know? So I'm like, this is different, you know? And when we get to the judge, when they take you out from the bullpens, it's your turn. They take a row you. It's normally a cage of people. Handcuff you. You sit at the little brown bench. You sit there. You wait till you're called. And they come over. The correctional officers, they uncuff you. Sometimes cuff your hands again behind your back when you go up to the judge. So we're there, and I explained to the judge the same thing. I said, look, these guys really had nothing. Because while I'm sitting on that bench, I see D3's father there, and Led Zepp, Chris's mother, in the audience. I don't know if you want to call it an audience, but in the court crowd of people that are sitting there. And, you know, they're very sad and shit. My mom's nowhere to be found. Actually, my mother was in the building, but she was in a different courtroom where my brother was actually going through a different case, which was more serious of a charge than mine. I forget where my brother winded up, but I believe at that point he did 4 or 5 years. It was either Comstock or Fishkill. I forget. But yeah, so she was in his courtroom hearing. Then she figured she could bounce over to where I am. Poor Miss Dyer, Celine Dyer, man, that lady, you know. But by the time she got to where I was, my shit already took place. I was already, like, there's 2 doors. You either get released right there, like D3 and Led Zepp got released. The mother and father's happy, you know. Like D3's father was happy he's out. Led Zepp's mother, happy. You know, me, I went to the other door, so I ain't going home. I'm getting on a bus and going to Rikers Island. But this is my whole first experience through the adult system of it all. So I'm like, what the fuck? I'm supposed to be across the street, 80 Lafayette, and, you know, they're supposed to be telling me I got to be a good boy. They're supposed to be like, get out there, you motherfucker! You know, that was a different experience for me. But yeah, when I went into the other cells, and then you wait there about 5-6 hours before you get on a bus, go to Rikers Island. Now, a lot of people talk about this bus ride to Rikers Island, going across that bridge, and how scary. Honestly, I fell asleep, man. I was fucking exhausted, man. I fell asleep. I woke up. It was cold out. This crime took place in the winter. So, very cold out. And I remember waking up when I heard that bus, and the doors open, all of a sudden there's all this commotion. I woke up, I'm like, huh? And I was walking out, you know, all handcuffed and shackled on Rikers Island. I slept right through the whole trip. And so, yeah, I get off the bus, they bring us into this room, it's like, it's area receiving and R&D. Do all types of shit there. Give you a little thing with like a mattress that rolls up. It's like lawn furniture. It's not like no Sealy Purdick mattress like Jennifer Convertible and that. It's like this fat, skinny little mattress. Almost like what a doctor would have in an examining room. Like that kind of mattress you lay on, or like a lawn furniture. This rolled up, a blanket in it, a couple other things. So then I go to a dorm. Now, in this dorm, I get that, I'd say, I don't know, like I said, this is going back to me being 19 years old or 20 years old. I'm currently 53. But when I get there, I actually know a few people from the streets. A couple of dudes from Harlem, about 2 or 3 guys I knew from Harlem. One dude I knew real well that I actually committed crimes with when I was younger. It was a dude that used to come down to John Jay Park where we used to hang out and swim and shit. So, you know, I was asking him, what's the deal, you know, because you got to realize, I'm thinking like Rikers Island's got to be like Spofford, but 1,000 times worse. I'm like, what's up, man? You know, you got a shank? You know, like, you know, like, I need something to protect myself out here. He's like, oh, come on, Rob, you bugging, man. It ain't that kind of place, man. I'm like, yo, what the fuck, man? I was even telling the dude, I'll put money on your books, man. You know, let me get a banger, a shank, a knife. He's like, oh, man, it ain't like that here, man. I said, well, I don't know, Rikers Island, you know. I told him I got no money and nothing now, but when I go through the system, I get out, and I'm in the real world, I'll put money on your books for commissary, man. You know, he's like, yo, Robin, you need something, don't worry about it, all right? And I'm saying, all right, you know, hung out. I didn't want to crowd around the dude because, honestly, I'm a white boy, if you haven't noticed. And at that point, I'm like 135, 140 pounds. I don't want to go cramping this dude's style, hanging out with me and shit, you know. The guy, you can tell, you know, he's a high roller uptown in Harlem. So I don't want to cramp his style or fuck with his reputation, hanging out with a white boy or something like that. I pretty much kept to myself. I pretty much didn't get involved with anyone. I'd, hi, how you doing, and this, that. You know, like I said, there's a few people I know, a few faces and stuff. And there was no such thing as the Bloods or the Crips at that point. I believe the Latin Kings were already created, but I don't know. I had no problems at all on Rikers Island. The only problem I had is the first night I was there, I fell asleep. And someone tossed me out of my bed. They grabbed me from under the little mattress, and they just flipped my bed. I winded up on the floor. Boom! I hit the floor. I woke up. What, motherfucker? You know, like, yo, you just wake up on the floor, like, with a mattress on top of you. Like, the mattress actually fell on top of me. When you're sound asleep and you wake up, it feels like there's a dude on top. I'm, like, punching a mattress and shit. And I hopped up, like, what the fuck? You know, everyone's quiet. The lights are out. It's a dorm. These are dorms. You have your little bed, and you have this little metal thing. It almost looks like a gym locker from school. A little fatter and shorter. Got the little door right here. And that's all you have. Me, I didn't have anything on me. I took my coat and I put it inside the locker, and that was it. So I go to sleep. They toss me out my bed. I wake up. Everyone, you know, I don't see no one. I hear a couple of people snickering, like, hee hee hee. You know, but the lights were out. I don't know who the fuck did it. So I lay back in my bed. I'm like just looking up at the ceiling like, yo, you motherfuckers think I'm some kind of herb, man. Who's trying to play me. That's a bad fucking look, man. I can't let that shit. No, I gotta figure this shit out, you know? Blah, 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 blah. You know, because you let something like that slide, like, you know, you gotta at least investigate or act angry, you know what I mean? So, you know, the morning comes around, I really didn't fall back asleep. You gotta remember, I slept on the bus. I'm getting there, I fell asleep again and woke up on the floor. So, when the day comes, I go to the mess hall, and cereal, I remember, little things of cereal with milk. I remember talking to the dudes I know from uptown. And the dudes I know from uptown, they actually know each other also. Some of them better than others, but yeah. So in total, about I could talk to one dude, and it's really like talking to three people because he knew two people that were in there, also that were arrested on different charges. Seemed like everyone in that particular dorm, in that room, maybe it's done by boroughs or something like that, but most of them dudes were from uptown, you know. And I knew a couple of them that were in there. So I asked them, I said, yo, what the fuck, man? Motherfuckers knocked me off my bed, man. What the fuck was that shit about, man? Yo, who did that shit? You know, I'm like, come on, Rob, man, this is jail, man. So one dude's like, yo, you were fucking snoring, man. You were like, so, yo, man, it's a jail, man. You gotta control that shit, man. So I was like, oh, fuck, man. And I do snore. I've been known to snore. My brother actually shot me in my big toe. When I was out in Long Island, I was a child, about 10 years old. Shot me in my big toe with a pellet gun, like the 9mm pellet guns. Remember those back in the day where you would stick the clip, the magazine, you'd put the CO2 into it, and you put the pellets in it? Yeah, he shot me in the toe once. I remember I was a child. I was like, oh, fuck, I gotta go to the hospital, help. He's like, you ain't going to no hospital, man. He actually pulled it out, like it stuck in my toe, between my toenail and my fucking flesh on my toe. And he pulled it out with his fingers. He's like, oh, man, you'll be all right. I remember it never got infected or nothing, but at that point I was a junior lifeguard. I was swimming and I was winning little medals and shit like that. So I was always in the salt water, which is good. It helps kill infection and stuff. But, yeah, it never really turned to nothing. But it fucking, my nail fell out. My toenail turned purple and fell off. The new one came in, of course. But yeah, get back to Rikers Island. Yeah, so I snore a lot. And someone didn't like me snoring, so they flipped my bed to wake me up. I woke up and I never had another problem. It was just the first night there. And after that, no one fucked with me at all. I was just like a day room dummy. I just hang out there watching TV and shit, you know. Like I said, there was no Bloods and Crips. It seemed to have been broken down by neighborhoods. But then again, this part of Rikers Island, it's a dorm. I believe everyone's waiting for their next court date. The area I was at, it would be crazy to stick me in a different area. You know, it seems like that's just where you wait for your next court date if you're not given bail or something like that, you know. So, yeah, about a month, sat there. Really didn't hang out with anyone, including the people I knew, because like I said, I didn't want to cramp the one dude's style. I mean, I've actually robbed and stole with that dude, you know. But I didn't want to cramp his style, you know. I'm hanging out with a white boy and shit, so. And honestly, like, no one had any interesting conversation, man. Like, nothing that would keep me afloat. And I was the only white dude in there. I remember that part. I was probably the only white dude I've seen in as an inmate. A few dudes might have been white, but they looked kind of like Spanishy. But yeah, so I pretty much just kept to myself. I watched TV. My month was up. I got back on the bus, went to Rikers Island. They released me. And that was that. But honestly, my opinion, Rikers Island got nothing on Spofford. Spofford was just evil, like torturous, crazy shit, man, with children, man. Yeah, Spofford was definitely a whole different animal, man. This is just my experience from the term and the situation that I was in, that I just explained to you. And the feeling I got is Rikers Island, maybe, once again, it's just because I'm in the place where people still have court cases pending, where they might still be able to go home, that they ain't trying to start no shit on the island, because then they'll get more time, or they won't go home. So, everyone's on their best behavior, I believe. At least the section I was at. Yeah, where I was at, I had no problems at all. No one bugged me except for that one little incident. Rikers Island, in my eyes, Spofford was 100 times worse. When I was thinking going to Rikers, fuck, this is going to be bad. It's going to be 100 times worse than Spofford, because he's a grown man. You got to realize I'm very tall and very skinny back then. I was like 140 pounds, 50 pounds. I'd be 6 foot something. Yeah, skin and bones. So yeah, it was scary, but I don't know. I mean, the bottom line is, if someone fucks with you, you got to put your hands up. If not, they're not going to stop fucking with you. You know, it's kind of like a little rule there. You know, you got to stand up for yourself. You know? Otherwise, if you ain't going to do it, who's going to do it? You know? Yeah. And you actually get more respect that way. It's the only way, you know. There is no other way around that. If shit pops off, you win or lose, you got to fight. That's that. Yeah. That's about all I could say about Rikers Island and my situation. Yeah. Alright, people, take care of yourselves, alright?